The sun is key to life on Earth, but what would happen if it suddenly just disappeared? First of all, it would never simply just disappear. What would happen is in a few billion years it would run out of hydrogen to burn and expand until eventually exploding in a massive supernova. But anyway, back onto the sun's disappearance. Once the sun disappeared, you wouldn't know for 8 minutes. That is the time it takes light to reach the Earth from the sun. That is also the speed at which gravitational waves move, so we would be flung out of the sun's orbit at hundreds of thousands of kilometers an hour. But this is not only bad for us, but it's bad for the other planets in our solar system, as we could knock them out of orbit as well. Now, if we can get past the fact that we are hurtling into space at an incredible speed with no control over where we are heading, then we get to the next problem. Light. The sun provides 99.99% of light on Earth. Once the sun is gone, we would be plunged into almost pure darkness. Since the Milky Way only provides 1/300th of the amount of light as the moon, every day would be darker than anything we have ever dealt with before. This would mean that all plants would die within weeks, except for large trees which can survive for years due to their buildup of energy. This also means the end of photosynthesis, which means we can't get any more oxygen, which leads us to our third problem. Breathing. Humans alone consume more than 6 trillion kilograms of oxygen every year, which sounds like a lot until you consider that we have over a quintillion kilos in our atmosphere. So our breathing problem is solved for a few thousand years. However, our heat problem is not that simple. Currently, the average surface temperature of the Earth is 14 degrees Celsius, which is almost the perfect temperature. However, once the sun is gone, it would drop to just below freezing within a week. This may not be too bad and we could live through it. However, within a year, the temperature would be negative 100 degrees Celsius. That would freeze the oceans and make most of the world uninhabitable. You may ask, isn't that it? How can we live at minus 100 degrees? The answer is geothermal heat. The Earth's core is surprisingly warm, and if we dug underground or lived near geothermal hotspots like Yellowstone National Park, it would be a much warmer temperature. Even heat isn't our worst problem. Our biggest problem would be food and water. With no plants left and very few animals, our food sources would be very limited and we would run out very fast. We would have to rely on mostly canned foods and other non-perishables. Because ice acts as an insulator, the bottom parts of the ocean would actually remain unfrozen, so we could drink that as long as we had a salt filter. So if this apocalyptic scenario ever happened, it would be really bad. However, it might not have been just as bad as you thought it would be. As long as you got to a warm spot and had enough food, you could actually live for a while on the frozen rock that we called Earth. And eventually, someday, we might be able to orbit into another star and thaw the planet and return back to normal. Hey guys, if you found this video interesting, think about liking, sharing, and subscribing. You can also check out 2 of my other videos below.